Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Arden of Faversham, and today we get to hear from Mosby in Act 3, Scene 5. So we haven't heard from Mosby in a while, but before we get to him, the important stuff that we need to catch up on is that there was another attempt on Arden's life, sort of, almost. Michael was supposed to have left the door unlocked, which he did, but then he freaked out, which woke up Arden and Franklin, who came and locked the door. So when Will and Shakebag showed up to kill him, they couldn't, so they went and got Green and told Green that they were so upset about this. The three of them found and confronted Michael, who was like, no, I absolutely did my part. I absolutely did my part. But Franklin came and locked the door because he forgot his wallet out on the porch. So he went to get it, saw the door was unlocked. He locked it, so it's his fault. But this is where Arden is going to be next. So there you can get him, because Michael is still waffling a little bit on whether or not Arden actually needs to be killed, because Arden has always been very nice to him, but if Arden dies, then he can marry Susan. So he's very caught in this. But anyway, so Will and Shakebag and Green are working with Michael still to plot Arden's death. But in Act 3, Scene 5, we get to check in with Mosby and Alice. We'll get to Alice in a minute. She's not just there yet. Mosby kicks off the scene by himself, saying, "Disturbed thoughts drives me from company and dries my marrow with their watchfulness. Continual trouble of my moody brain feebles my body by excess of drink, and nips me as the bitter northeast wind doth check the tender blossoms in the spring. Well fares the man, howe'er his cates do taste, the table's not with foul suspicion, and he but pines amongst his delicates, whose troubled mind is stuffed with discontent. My golden time was when I had no gold. Though then I wanted, yet I slept secure. My daily toll begat me night's repose. My night's repose made daylight fresh to me. But since I climbed the top bough of the tree and sought to build my nest among the clouds, each gentle stirry gale doth shake my bed and makes me dread my downfall to the earth. But whither doth contemplation carry me? The way I seek to find, where pleasure dwells, is hedged behind me, that I cannot back, but needs must on, although to danger's gate. Then, Arden, perish thou by that degree, for green doth ear the land and weed thee up, to make my harvest nothing but pure corn. And for his pains I'll hive him up a while, and after smother him to have his wax. Such bees as Green must never live to sting. Then is there Michael, and the painter, too, chief actors to Arden's overthrow, who, when they shall see me in Arden's seat, they will insult upon me for my meed, or fright me by detecting of his end. I'll none of that, for I can cast a bone to make these curs pluck out each other's throat, and then am I sole ruler of mine own. Yet Mistress Arden lives, but she's myself, and holy church rites makes us two but one. But what for that? I may not trust you, Alice. You have supplanted Arden for my sake, and will extirpate me to plant another. 'Tis fearful sleeping in a serpent's bed, and I will cleanly rid my hands of her. But here she comes, and I must flatter her. How now, Alice? What, sad and pensive? Make me partaker of thy pensiveness. Fire divided burns with lesser force. So, Mosby is also in a very interesting mental state about this. He's conflicted, he's disturbed, he's discontent. He spends the first bit of this monologue talking about how he was much happier before he got into any of this, when he didn't have anything. Yes, he maybe wanted more money, but at least he slept well at night, which allowed him to be productive during the days. But now that he has all of this, like these murder plots and stuff rattling around in his brain, it's it's wearing on him. And he starts to take stock of how many people know that they want to kill Arden. It's not just him and Alice. There's also Michael. There's also Green. There's also Will. There's also Shakebag. There's also the painter who can paint things that will make somebody die when you just look at him. He's like, there's a lot of people that know what it is that we want to do. And once we've done it, they will have tons of blackmail material. So he's starting to contemplate getting rid of all of the accomplices as well, getting rid of Green, getting rid of Shakebag, getting rid of Michael, and even getting rid of Alice, because she's the last piece. And even though, you know, they're in love and want to be married and all that sort of a thing, he's like, she could be my undoing. But then she comes in and she's reading a prayer book, and he's like, hey, you know, like what's wrong? You tell me about it, and we can share the burden of whatever it is that's troubling you. And she's like, no, we can't, and this is mine to bear, and all this blah blah blah. There's a little bit of back and forth. And what it boils down to, as she's been reading her prayer book, she has started to feel guilty about wanting to kill Arden as well. So she's like, you know, forget that we were ever together, forget everything that we had, forget every agreement that we made. I am back to being the steadfast wife of Arden. That's it. He's like, are you serious? And she's like, yes, from here on out, I love Arden. That's how that goes. End of story. You know, we're done. But of course, it's not as simple as that. And Mosby is going to have a monologue as a response, which we will hear tomorrow. So I will see you then for that. Mwah.